That's the way of the world. Fortune drops something valuable into your lap, you don't just dump it on the back of the cut.
The world doesn't care about your excuses. It only respects power. Thomas Shelby understood that better than anyone. And if you want to get ahead in life, you better start thinking like him.
Nearly got fucking everything!
Peaky Blinders is not merely a crime drama. It is a study of power, strategy, and survival. Set in the turbulent 1920s, it chronicles the rise of the Shelby family, a gang from Birmingham that transforms from street criminals into a formidable empire. At the heart of it all stands Thomas Shelby, portrayed by Cillian Murphy, a man feared, respected, and often misunderstood. To the world, Thomas Shelby is ruthless and unyielding, a cold-blooded strategist who bends circumstances to his will. Yet beneath that hardened exterior lies something far more dangerous, an unparalleled understanding of power. He does not act on impulse. He calculates. He does not react. He anticipates. He knows his family, his market, and his enemies with unnerving precision. His mastery over every aspect of his business allows him to predict, manipulate, and ultimately dominate. But what sets him apart is not just his ability to outmaneuver rivals, it is his self-awareness. He understands his own nature, recognizes his flaws, and wields his strengths with ruthless efficiency. He does not stumble blindly toward success. He crafts it step by step with unwavering intent. Thomas Shelby is more than a gangster. He is a man who refuses to be dictated by fate. He does not merely survive the chaos of his world, he commands it. Thomas Shelby is not merely a leader. He is an architect of survival, a strategist who sees beyond the immediate. Every move he makes is deliberate, every decision rooted in foresight. He is not controlled by the chaos of his world, he controls it. Many people are prisoners of their own rigidity. They build plans so meticulously that when an unexpected opportunity presents itself, they reject it, clinging to the illusion of control rather than adapting to reality. Tommy Shelby operates differently.
That's the way of the world. Fortune drops something valuable into your lap, you don't just dump it on the back of the cut.
He does not expect the world to conform to his plans. Instead, he bends the world to serve his ambitions. He never planned to stumble upon a stash of weapons from the IRS. But when fate handed him that advantage, he extracted every ounce of value from it. True power lies in perception. Where others see misfortune, Tommy sees leverage. In Season 1, he turned Danny's fake death into an asset, an unseen informant embedded in London's underworld. In Season 4, when Arthur's assassination attempt could have been a devastating loss, Tommy spun the narrative, spreading false information about Arthur's death to manipulate his enemies and buy himself time. This is the essence of a master strategist. The ability to turn setbacks into stepping stones, to view the battlefield from angles others fail to perceive. The world rewards those who can move with its chaos rather than resist it. And Thomas Shelby, cold, calculating, relentless, does not merely survive the storm, he commands it.
When you plan something well, there's no need to rush.
Thomas Shelby is the architect behind the rise of the Peaky Blinders. He does not move without calculation, nor does he step forward without strategy. Every decision he makes is not a mere reaction to circumstances, but a carefully measured move, crafted with precision. He understands that the world does not move in straight lines. There is uncertainty, there is chaos, and only those who can control the variables will remain at the top. He does not think one step ahead. He thinks 5, 10, perhaps even more. In his mind, every scenario has already played out before the world has a chance to set the stage. He knows what will happen, when and where. And when reality deviates from his plan, he remains composed. No panic, no overreaction, only adjustments. Most people are trapped in their obsession with certainty. They create the perfect plan, yet when the unexpected occurs, they dismiss it. too rigid to adapt. Tommy is different. He never planned to stumble upon weapons from the IRS, but when the opportunity presented itself, he did not hesitate to exploit every possibility. Every failure is a lesson, every opportunity a resource, and every threat a potential advantage in the long run. Modern society has conditioned people to seek instant gratification. Fast food, social media, entertainment, all designed to deliver immediate rewards, shaping a generation devoid of patience. They want to be rich overnight, successful without the struggle, and when it does not happen, they give up. Tommy understands that this game is not about who moves the fastest, but who endures the longest. Every small decision he makes is a seed planted. He knows that with time and care, the results will come naturally. Consistency is his weapon. No matter what he does, his goal remains unchanged: to expand his business, to extend his influence. Approaches may shift, methods may evolve, but the direction never wavers. Many people fail not because they lack talent, but because they abandon their goals before reaching them. They let reality drown their dreams, choosing a safe life over chasing what they truly desire. Yet, uncertainty will always haunt those who refuse to act. What if I tried? What if I pursued what I truly wanted? These questions will linger, a constant reminder that they have betrayed themselves. Tommy never allows doubt to consume him. He knows himself, understands his desires, and pursues them with unwavering intent. If we truly understand who we are and what we want, we will not be lost in an endless cycle of searching. We will know where to stand, what to do, and why we do it. More than just a strategist, Tommy Shelby is an executor who trusts his instincts. He knows that some things cannot be explained by logic, that intuition often perceives what rational calculations miss. In human interactions, intuition is sharper than analysis. He can read people, their true intentions, whether they seek to deceive, manipulate, or simply play with words. Trust your instincts. We cannot change the past, but we can learn from it. And from that, we can build a better future, not shaped by what the world offers, but by what we choose to create. Thomas Shelby is not just a strong man. He is a man who learns from suffering without letting it trap him. Trauma is inevitable, and Tommy understands that better than anyone. If he allowed himself to be consumed by his past wounds, he would never move forward. Or worse, he would destroy himself. Yes, at certain points in his life, madness almost swallowed him whole. But Tommy is not a man who surrenders to his downfall. He always rises, keeps moving, and ensures that what he desires remains within his grasp. The past is not an excuse for a stagnant present. He does not use it as a reason to give up, but as fuel to ensure that his future is not marked by the same mistakes. That is what separates those who survive from those who are crushed by time. Not how much pain they have endured, but how they use it to build their way forward. However, no matter how strong Tommy Shelby is, he never stands alone. His family is not just a part of his business. They are the foundation of every step he takes. Without them, he is nothing. Without them, he would not survive. Every victory he achieves, every move he makes is always rooted in one thing: family. No matter how many stronger and more powerful enemies stand before him, Tommy is never afraid. Not because he thinks he is invincible, but because he knows that behind him, his family stands firm. And for that, he gives everything. The world teaches people to be independent, to stand alone, to rely on no one. But the truth is, no one truly stands alone. We all need someone, not just to share victories, but to hold us up when we fall. We need people who will stay when the world leaves us behind. And if we have them, we must ensure they remain a priority, because, in the end, they are the ones who will still be there when everything else crumbles. There is one thing Tommy Shelby understands better than most. The world will never give us what we want unless we ask for it. Too many people are afraid to speak up, afraid to demand their rights, afraid to disturb others simply because they do not want to create discomfort. They hide their desires behind flattery, hold back their words, and allow themselves to be stepped on repeatedly. But Tommy never does that. He never lets others dictate how he should be treated. From the very beginning, he sets his boundaries clearly. He does not just speak, he makes sure everyone remembers. If we do not decide how we want to be treated, the world will decide for us. If we do not dare to speak up, we will forever be victims of our own silence. Learn to stand with confidence. Learn to voice what we think and feel, not as a request, but as a declaration. And finally, the most important thing. No two paths to success are the same. The world is full of people trying to replicate the success of others, following every step with precision, hoping for the same results. They forget that each person has their own path. The guidance from those who have succeeded is a lesson, not a map. There is no single road that leads everyone to the same place. Those who understand this will stop trying to copy others and start creating their own way. And those who dare to walk their own path, they are the ones who will truly reach the top. Tommy Shelby's strategy for domination: attire, body language, and narrative control. Tommy Shelby understands something most people overlook. Appearance is not just about aesthetics, it's a statement of power. From the very beginning, even when his wealth had yet to catch up with his ambitions, he always dressed like someone destined for the top. He never waited for wealth to grant him permission to look like a leader. He carried that image long before the world acknowledged him. And in a society governed by invisible hierarchies, the way one dresses is not merely fashion, but a key that unlocks doors that would otherwise remain closed. Every social circle has unspoken rules, silent codes that dictate who belongs and who doesn't. People within the same elite groups often share similar styles, speech patterns, and mannerisms. Tommy understood that if you want to be part of a certain class, you must first demonstrate that you belong there. Respect isn't requested, it is cultivated through the careful construction of an image. But appearance alone isn't enough. Tommy Shelby wields body language like an artist wields a brush. He doesn't merely exist in a room, he owns every space he occupies. There is no restlessness in his movements, no hesitation in his gaze. When he speaks, he doesn't lower his head or avoid eye contact. He looks straight ahead, unhurried, dictating the rhythm of every interaction. He never crosses his arms in a defensive stance. Instead, he remains open, exuding the confidence of someone who is always in control. Non-reactive body language is a weapon in itself. Most people don't realize how easily they are influenced by subtle, unconscious cues. They waver under intimidation. They lose control when confronted by unwavering composure. And Tommy understands this better than anyone. He doesn't just talk. He dictates the atmosphere around him. But his power doesn't stop there. He is also a master of the state-breaking question, a psychological technique that disrupts a conversation's momentum and redirects it in his favor. When someone threatens him, he doesn't retaliate with an emotional response. Instead, he fractures the pattern of the discussion by asking an unexpected question, something seemingly irrelevant, something that forces his opponent to pause, lose footing, and unknowingly surrender control of the conversation. Yet, what sets him apart from ordinary people is his immunity to the same tactic. If someone tries to throw him off course with a similar strategy, he remains unfazed. He doesn't answer. He refuses to be led astray. He simply continues his speech as if no interruption had occurred, ensuring the narrative remains firmly in his grasp. Beyond all of this, Tommy Shelby understands that people are driven by two fundamental forces: the desire to gain something and the fear of losing something. Most people leverage only one of these in persuasion, but not Tommy. He masterfully blends both into a far superior negotiation strategy. He never merely threatens or commands. Instead, he paints a vivid picture of two possible futures. One where cooperation leads to immense rewards, and another where refusal results in inevitable consequences. In a world ruled by those who know how to control perception, Thomas Shelby is not just a player. He is the one designing the game itself. Thomas Shelby's strategy: honesty, flexibility, and boundless ambition. If we truly pay attention, we can see how Thomas Shelby expresses himself during negotiations or family meetings. Regardless of his strategy, there is one thing he always upholds: honesty. Even when speaking directly to his enemies, Tommy never hides behind lies or cheap manipulation. Honesty is not a weakness. On the contrary, it is the sharpest weapon a person can wield. Honesty signals fearlessness. It reflects courage, competence, and complete control over a situation. No panic, no hesitation. A truthful person exudes an aura of someone who can handle anything with professionalism and composure. On the other hand, lying is a dangerous game. A liar must constantly remember every word they've spoken, keep their falsehoods consistent, and always remain vigilant so the truth doesn't catch up to them. Tommy understands something most people forget. Your lies will travel faster than the truth. When you lie, you gamble with your future. The best bet you can make in life is to be honest, because honesty is a long-term asset that cannot be shaken by time. However, there is a vast difference between honesty and absolute morality. Thomas Shelby does not operate within the confines of black and white. He moves within the gray. His actions are not about right or wrong, but about flexibility. He knows when to leave his ego and personal conflicts at the door, working even with those who may try to kill him the next day. But like any master strategist, he always has a contingency plan. He never entrusts his fate to anyone but himself. Many of us are raised to avoid grand ambitions. We are taught that aiming too high will only lead to ruin. But Tommy doesn't believe in such limitations. Success may mean nothing if we have no one to share it with. But if we can protect our loved ones while building something great, why not? Never apologize for success. Diminishing yourself just to please others is not honor. It is self-denial. Tommy is aware of how people perceive his high aspirations. He knows they see him as someone who dreams too big, but he also knows that he was never meant to be like them, trapped in a stagnant routine, working in factories for a lifetime, barely scraping by. People around us may try to teach us to stay low, to stay safe, to remain in the place we were born. But we do not have to follow a path that was never meant for us. The lessons of the ordinary are not an unavoidable fate. There is one key trait that separates the successful from the average: a paranoia shaped as vigilance. It is the instinct that keeps them alive. They never get too comfortable, never let their guard down. Thomas Shelby is never satisfied. He dominates the racetracks, the factories, Birmingham, London, and eventually all of England. He always thinks big, always moves towards something greater. He does not limit himself, and he does not let anyone impose limits on him. So, if we want to learn from Thomas Shelby, we must do more than admire him. We must implement his principles into our own lives. By order of the Peaky Blinders.